As you all know, every year we invite the president to this dinner. For decades, presidents on both sides of the political spectrum get gussied up and join us. I want to be clear about something. We don't invite presidents of the United States to this because it's for them. We don't invite them because we want to cozy up to them or curry favor. We don't only extend invites to the presidents who say they love journalists or who say they are defenders of the First Amendment and a free press. We invite them to remind them that they should be. We invite them to demonstrate that those of us who have chosen the public service of journalism aren't doing it because we love flights on Air Force One or walking into the Oval Office. It's to remind them why a strong fourth estate is essential for democracy. Why, at the end of the day, it's good for them. Even among the most free nations, the WHCA, what we do is unique. It is an example of American exceptionalism. Though we don't have the current president with us tonight, we wanted to hear from some of those who have been gracious enough to sit among the White House press corps.
Members of the White House Correspondents Association, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here I am.
I have actually shown up here for 8 straight years. Looking back, that was probably a mistake.
After all, I believe in the First Amendment, not just because my good friend Jimmy Madison wrote it.
Of course, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is known as the prom of Washington, D.C., a term coined by political reporters who clearly never had the chance to go to an actual prom.
I know it's getting late, dear, but it's not often that we have so many people who've written about us and broadcast about us all together in one room like this, and I thought you might like to say a few nice words to them.
I have the greatest respect and admiration for what you do. I know sometimes you like to give me a hard time, and I certainly like to return the favor. But I never forget that our country depends on you. You help protect our freedom, our democracy, and our way of life.
And sometimes I think we forget that we're all people. We're all trying to do our jobs as best we can.
As I speak, men and women in uniform are taking great risks, and so are many journalists.
Working endless hours, putting themselves in harm's way, trying to give the American people the best and most accurate account possible.
The roots of violence at home and ethnic cleansing and racial hatred abroad are of great complexity and difficulty.
Because of journalists who accepted risk and hardship, the first draft of history has been vivid and has been moving.
Your ultimate success as an industry is essential to the success of our democracy.
You make it possible for ordinary citizens to question authority, and yes, even to laugh at authority without fear or intimidation.
And I ask the American people to remember what it is we are fighting for. A world in which the dignity of humanity counts for more than the differences of humanity. For human differences, when celebrated but contained, can make life a lot more interesting. But when unleashed as weapons of war, soon make it unbearable.
And yet there's that certain spirit that's very hard to describe, but the spirit says, we'll come back. We'll make it back.
Each of us must serve. You in your way, me in mine. You can start right now by bussing your own tables and helping with the dishes.
To a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure, God bless America.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
And with that, I just have 2 more words to say. Obama out.
As we end tonight, yes, I said as we end. I know it's a little earlier than usual. Okay. We stand together in a shared commitment to the ideals that have defined our nation's democratic principles: transparency, accountability, and the free flow of information. When Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1786 that, quote, "Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost," he and the other framers of the United States understood the danger unchecked power poses to the ideals and people of this nation. For more than 100 years, the White House Correspondents Association has played a vital role in ensuring that the American public has access to the truth, no matter how difficult or how complex it is. And in America, the truth is usually complex and often difficult. Our responsibility is not to align with any one party or any one agenda, but to serve the people of this country with integrity and dedication. It is a duty we hold in the highest regard, knowing that the work we do helps strengthen the fabric of our democracy. Given that complexity, I'd like to reintroduce you to our association. We are more than 900 members strong, representing nearly 300 news outlets. These include 99 broadcast outlets, 74 print, 45 digital outlets, 38 multimedia outlets, 29 local US-based news outlets from 18 different states, 19 agencies or associations, and 29 new media outlets. And for decades, we have been expanding the makeup of our membership. As the media landscape has changed, as technology has changed, our association has evolved with it. We journalists are a lot of things. We are competitive and pushy, we are impatient, and sometimes we think we know everything. But we're also human. We miss our families and significant life moments in service to this job. We care deeply about accuracy and take seriously the heavy responsibility of being stewards of the public's trust. What we are not is the opposition. What we are not is the enemy of the people, and what we are not is the enemy of the state. As long as there have been journalists, people who see it as their calling to dig through files, root out corruption, hold the powerful to account, there have been leaders who want to stop them. People who would go to extreme lengths to keep the truth hidden from the very people who put them in power. In this room today, at table 162, is a woman who has been fighting for 13 years for the release and return of her son, Austin Tice, a Washington Post reporter, a Marine Corps veteran, and currently the longest detained American journalist. Austin should be free and with his family tonight. As we have done for years, we again ask the President, do all you can to bring him home. And to Deborah Tice, we stand with you and we thank you for your courage. This association, folks in this room, asked the other presidents to do everything in their power to bring Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich home. After nearly 16 months of detention in Russia, Evan came home on August 1st of last year. Evan, we are so happy to have you back. But the attacks on journalists don't stop at our borders. Every single day, journalists in this country face threats of intimidation, lawsuits, and violence. Those attacks are meant to do one thing: stop us from sharing the truth with the people. To our friends at the Associated Press, you have taken on more than you should have to. But what you have held firm to from the very beginning is that your fight is not about you. It's about the ability of every single person in this room to make free and independent editorial decisions without government interference. To Julie Pace, Executive Editor and Senior Vice President of the AP, on behalf of everyone in this room, all of the journalists yet to come, I want to thank you for never wavering or compromising. This board, this association are forever in your debt. To our friends at Voice of America, I can't wait until you're back on the White House grounds to continue reporting important stories for audiences around the world, especially in countries where leaders suppress the freedom of expression and the press. At the end of the day, what every member of our association wants to do is simple. They want to do their jobs. They want to be able to ask questions on behalf of the American people. This iteration of the WHCA board was inaugurated the Monday after an assassination attempt on President Trump. Less than a week later, President Biden ended his run for re-election. A few days after that, Vice President Harris became the presumptive Democratic nominee. We've been drinking from a fire hose a little bit up here. I bring up those three moments, each historic in their own right, to illustrate that the work of journalism is often unpredictable, and that the real-world stakes of the events we cover are profound. Those of us on the dais come to this task with one agenda, and one agenda only: making sure that the reporters in the White House get to do their jobs, that the American people have the information they need to hold powerful people accountable and keep democracy strong. It's been difficult. I can't tell you the number of emergency meetings we've had. And for just under a year, I have been constantly impressed by all of your commitment, their commitment to you and to our profession. In a few months, I will pass the gavel of the WHCA presidency to the fabulous Wei Zhideng. I'm happy to announce that Wei will become the first ever woman of color to lead this association. I don't have to tell our members, but let me assure the rest of you that our association will be in very good hands. Tonight, I am full of gratitude to all of you, to my family, and to every mentor who pushed me and held me up. Thank you. I know I'm fortunate. I have been blessed that people have looked at me and reached out a hand. People like Professor Pram Jackson from Colorado State University. When I was a child, I would tell everyone who would listen, even if they didn't want to hear it, that I wanted to be a lawyer, then a politician, and then the first black president. That was me until college. Eventually, I realized that maybe that wasn't the path I wanted to take, and that gave me a not quite quarter-life crisis. When I ran to Pam's office, panicked that I had killed my own dream, she looked at me and said very calmly, "Maybe you don't want to be a powerful person. Maybe you want to hold powerful people accountable." And it clicked. She changed my life with one sentence. Pam is here tonight, sitting with my family. She is a perfect example of what we should all be doing when we meet young people who need a push, advice, guidance. Help them get to their full capability. To the young journalists here today and watching at home, despite everything, I want you to know this continues to be a noble and essential profession. If you're wondering if it's worth it, do it. Jump in, join us. All we ask, as your future colleagues, is that you hold fast to the ideals that motivate all of us to enter the profession. Hold on to those principles and remind us grizzled reporters of the why of this work. When we get too comfortable, too cynical, happens fast. As we close this evening, I want to leave you with the words of a trailblazing journalist, Ida B. Wells. The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. Despite everything, I'm still optimistic about the power of what we do and more assured than ever of the importance of defending it. Everyone in this room can and should stand in the breach. Everyone can and should push for what we know is right. Everyone can and should stand up against government interference in a free press. And a promise I make to you is that the White House Correspondents Association, this board, will always defend your right to do your jobs on behalf of your readers, your viewers, your listeners, and whatever else comes next when the technology changes. We always and will always advocate for more access to powerful people, for more independent journalists to be in the room. We will always stand in front, behind, beside you on behalf of every single person in this country who doesn't have access to a White House press badge. I hope you leave tonight feeling how I am. Proud. Proud to be a journalist, proud to be someone who covers the White House, and damn proud to be a member of the White House Correspondents Association. And in that respect, I raise a glass to the First Amendment and the journalists who do this work every single day. Thank you for coming, and have a good night.